So now the question everybody's wondering is, how do you get started? Well, the first thing you're doing is you're right here, you're meeting with us. Basically, when I meet with a client, what I do is I go over a buyer's consultation or an investor's consultation where we look at your exact criteria of what it is that you're looking to get out of the house. Number of bathrooms, location, number of bedrooms, the size of the yard, if it has an attic, if it has a basement, whatever the specifics are, we want to know what you're looking for. After that, I usually refer or recommend people to go over to get a mortgage loan pre-approval. That'll let you know what you qualify for. So you get the pre-approval. If you don't qualify right now, you have to backtrack. You have to speak with somebody like Christina and get your credit in line. Because that's usually sometimes people's hang up. Maybe the credit, or if you don't have enough time on your job, then you come back. But either way, let's say you get the mortgage pre-approval. Now you've got buying power. You know how much you can qualify for, what you can buy. You go out and visit homes. You go look at homes that meet your exact criteria. You identify the one you want. You write an offer. What an offer is an offer to purchase. You say how much you want to pay, what the terms are, so on and so forth. You submit the offer. There's negotiations. Usually there'll be a little bit of a counter offer. After you've done the counter offer and the negotiations, there's an accepted offer. Once you have an accepted offer, you get in, you do the home inspection, exactly. You make sure that everything, that you're okay with what you're getting into. You have a period in your contract. Yeah, sometimes people will do a home inspection on the house, they'll find out there's a default or a defect in there, they don't want to do it. So then they can back out because you have a period in your contract where you can get out of the contract during the inspection if you don't want to buy the house. Let's say during the inspection you still want to buy it, but you don't like some things that are going on with it. That's when you have repair requests. You can either have the seller repair it, or you can have them give you credit to bring the price down. Now, in the closing process, getting ready, preparing for closing, there's going to be title work. Every house has a title, a deed. It basically is the chain of who's owned it, anybody that's owed money against it, anything. So in the title work process, what we do is we make sure that there's well, I don't do it, but the attorneys do it. And the attorneys will make sure that there's no liens, that you don't have any kind of, that there's a clear marketable title. So when you buy the house, you don't have to worry about somebody coming back saying, hey, what about that old water bill? Hey, what about that old mortgage, second mortgage from 2006? You don't have to deal with any of that because the title insurance company insures the title that you have a marketable title. And let's say that there's a problem that you don't have a title, there's a title defect. The seller has to take care of that before you buy it. And that's why it's important to, to do this process this way. Now you do the appraisal. Appraisal is another thing that protects you, and it also protects the lender. Because let's say you buy a house for $150,000. We come out and do an appraisal, and it only appraises for $125,000. At that point, we have to push the brakes, and we got to say, well, either we're going to lower the price to $125,000. That's usually what happens. You match the seller matches the appraised price. Let's say they don't want to match the appraised price and the person is in love with the house, they want it. Then the person has to come up with an extra $25,000 to make up the difference because no lender is going to lend against a place that doesn't appraise for what you're buying it for. And the third step is, if nobody wants to come to an agreement, then you kill the deal and they try to sell it to somebody else and you buy something else. So that's that. Now after the appraisal, let's say the appraisal's all good. We schedule the closing. The closing's scheduled, your realtor takes you in, you do the final walkthrough, make sure everything's the same way that it was when you first bought it, or when you first went to see it, that everything's the same. You schedule the closing, and then you sign all the documents, paperwork, all the transactions happen with the money, you take possession, you get the keys, you move in. And that's basically the home buying process.